The city was unrecognizable. Buildings were torn apart, streets filled with rubble, smoke rising from everywhere. The air was thick with dust and the smell of burning. I had known Berlin my whole life, but now it felt like a different world, a place that didn't belong to anyone anymore. The Russians were everywhere. We heard the stories about what happened in the East, how they took everything, how they showed no mercy. The officers told us to fight to the last bullet, but no one believed in those words anymore. Everyone just wanted to get out, to disappear before the city was swallowed whole. The bombing never stopped. It had been going on for days, maybe weeks, but by April, it was worse than ever. The ground never stopped shaking. You could feel the city breaking apart, piece by piece. Sometimes, whole buildings just collapsed without warning. One moment, a street would be full of people running, shouting, searching for shelter. The next moment, it was dust, smoke, and silence. I saw people in the streets, their eyes empty, their clothes covered in ash. Mothers carrying children who were too weak to cry. Old men sitting on suitcases, staring at nothing. There was no food, no water. The power had been out for weeks. The stores had been looted long ago. We drank from fountains filled with debris. We ate whatever we could find. Stale bread, spoiled meat, anything. The hunger made us all weak, but it didn't matter. The city was finished. The officers still barked orders, but they meant nothing now. Everyone knew the truth. We had lost. Some of the soldiers still pretended to fight, but most of us just wanted to find a way out before the Russians arrived. Every day, more people disappeared. Some went into the subway tunnels, hoping to escape through the underground. Some just walked into the ruins, trying to get past the city's edge. By April 30th, the rumors spread fast. Hitler was gone. Some said he had left the city. Others said he had given up. No one knew what was true anymore. No one cared. The Reich was finished. The officers who once shouted orders now said nothing. They just looked at the ground. Some took off their medals. Others just sat in silence, staring at the wreckage around them. For years, they had told us we would win, that Germany would never fall. But now, they were just as lost as the rest of us. I hid in a basement for 2 days. The fighting outside was too much. I lived on moldy bread and water so dirty it made me sick. I could hear boots marching, tanks rolling past, people shouting. And then it was quiet. Not real silence, but different. The kind of quiet that meant it was over. When I came out, Berlin wasn't a city anymore. It was a graveyard. The streets were unrecognizable. The buildings that still stood looked like skeletons. The sky was dark with smoke, blocking out the sun. Everything smelled like fire and dust. People moved like ghosts through the rubble. Some searched through the ruins, looking for food, water, anything. Some just sat on the broken sidewalks, staring at nothing. I saw a woman trying to drag a suitcase, her hands shaking. A man in a tattered coat sitting in the doorway of a destroyed cafe, not moving. The city felt empty, but not because no one was there. It was empty because nothing was left. Soldiers, what was left of them, walked through the streets in torn uniforms, their eyes sunken. Some threw away their weapons. Others took off their armbands, trying to disappear into the crowds. I saw one of my commanders standing near a pile of rubble, his uniform still perfect, but his face pale and lifeless. He had nothing left to command. The Russians were here, but I barely saw them. They had won. They didn't need to do anything else. They controlled the city now, and we were just there. I walked through the ruins, past the remains of buildings I used to know, past the school I had gone to as a boy, now just a blackened shell, past the bakery where I used to buy bread, its windows shattered, its shelves empty. I kept walking until I couldn't anymore. At some point, I just sat down. I don't know how long I was there, maybe hours, maybe a day. But there was nothing left, no country, no cause, no future.